today on this beautiful sunny day, and I was just looking at this picture up here on the screen and this wide open stance that this gentleman's got, and it's almost like we need to start embracing more of that. I've brought some bowls with me today, Tibetan singing bowls that I'll be playing during the meditation, and one of them actually is the heart chakra, and the heart chakra is all about opening the chest, opening up that heart space so that we can really express our beautiful divinity. I always like to start with a quote, and this is a quote by Tony Robbins. Anybody that's been down the spiritual development path will know about Tony Robbins, and this quote is, "It's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped." And so I felt compelled to share with you today a message about choices and decisions and how our decisions can affect the rest of our lives. And we're in a momentous time in history and in our evolution where we need to start to make new choices. And those choices can mean looking at how we have been in terms of our personality in life, what we've chosen as our vocation or career, and it's also about where to from here. I've been studying a bit of astrology over the last maybe 4 or 5 months, and I now come to understand a bit more when I go to see my astrologer each year. When she starts saying this and this equals this, now I understand what this and this is instead of this equals this. So in our cosmos, we've got many planets out there that influence us on the minute level, on our moment-to-moment days. And on the day each of us were born, there was a cosmic pattern that arose from the time when we breathed our first breath. And so on the day you were born dictated what patterns would be part of your nature, what your life challenges might be as you journey through life, and also what challenges may come along on your journey, and also what your potential and your true calling would be. And so in terms of the time in evolution that we're in, I'm sure that we're all aware that there's an energy on the planet at the moment that is amplifying anxiety, fear. We've gone through a massive time of change in terms of COVID, isolation, and times of fear. And the energy of fear drops our vibration, it drops our frequency. And it's important for us now to embrace the other energies that dictate our life and also impact who we are. So I have been studying and I've been working with energy since 1998 when I discovered Reiki, and my youngest son wouldn't sleep, so I found something that would support him to sleep. And my evolution, as in my growth, has been all about embracing how energy supports me to become more of who I am. And this is a time in our evolution where there's more and more people that will realise they've got the healing capacity, that each and every one of us has the ability to heal, whether it's ourselves or other people. And as we're moving steadily now into the Age of Aquarius, we're moving into a time where people will start to really need to recognise their innate gifts and talents. I was part of the baby boomer generation where we were told you could be seen but not heard. And many of us have had to do a lot of healing to overcome that suppression of our personalities and who we think we were meant to be. And where each generation is here to learn a new lesson and to bring a new awareness to the planet. And so my generation is now, I believe, ready to hand over the baton to the newer generations, the millennials, Generation Z, and our newest generation that are coming up, which is Generation Alpha. And I've got 4 grandchildren. Well, I've got 2 that are already on this side and 2 that are on their way that will be Generation Alpha, which means what will they bring to this planet? What lessons will they learn and what gifts will they bring? Well, they're closer to spirit, of course. They're coming from where we came from. And you who are here to hear a message from spirit of those who have passed. What our new generation is to bring messages of connection to where we come from. Our divine blueprint, the reason why we are here, is imprinted in our cells, in our heart, in our DNA, in our soul. And so with our new generation, they're closer to that calling, they're closer to that energy. And this generation that's coming up won't be told no. My oldest grandchild's nearly 3, and I've already witnessed that. Whereas my generation, the baby boomers, when you were told no, it was no. And you brandished the punishment if you didn't obey. But this new generation won't be told no. And they'll be closest to the energy of where we're heading. Now, Pluto is the outermost planet in the cosmos. It's a tiny little planet, and I think some astrologers won't even call it a planet. They might call it an asteroid. But that particular planet, Pluto, is all about transformation, death, and rebirth. And we are in a time where Pluto has moved into the sign of Aquarius. Is there any Aquarians here in the 1, 2, 3, 4? Beautiful. So you'll know what your Aquarian energy is all about. Freedom, rebelliousness, bringing your gifts, your individual gifts and talents to the community. How can you support others? And this is the evolution that we're going through now, where in the previous times it's been about structure, money, how can we get to the top? It doesn't matter who we drop on the way. Whereas now we're moving into the time where what can I, as an individual person, develop more of in order to bring and support the community? So the structures that we have seen for centuries are now going to start to crumble. Now that can generate a lot of fear, but those of us who have been studying and wanting to choose to understand more the energy that is impacting us on the planet right now will start to recognize that there is a massive awakening happening. And what does awakening look like? It looks like change. And what does change feel like? It feels uncomfortable. I just came back from Kyneton to catch up with a girlfriend of mine who next year we realised we've known each other for 40 years. She was my bridesmaid at my wedding in 1989, but I met her in 1984 in Penang when we met during her honeymoon. Interestingly enough to say, we don't see each other all the time, and the last time I saw her was in 2016. But we picked up from where we left off, and we talked about all the changes that we've gone through. She and I both have divorced the husbands that we had at the time. We've both gone through the, I'll call it evolution, of being single mothers and having to navigate the hardships of bringing up children on your own. And you'll see in the world right now that marriage as a concept is changing. And marriage came about centuries ago as part of the property exchange between fathers to daughters to, husbands. So there's a lot of change occurring. And each and every one of us could be feeling quite nervous because we're not sure what change looks like. As I was driving home on the, I think it's the Hume, no, it could have been the Calder Highway. I've got a low profile car, so it feels the bumps. And I noticed that with the rains that we had over the last few months, there was a lot of crevices and potholes that they're still trying to fix. So I would gauge, in the distance if I could see any potholes that I would have to avoid, and also the speed cameras. But I did do the right speed. But anyway, so I think this is what life is like at the moment. We're on a highway where there's twists and turns and corners, and we can't often see what's ahead of us. And there's this sense of confusion as to what is ahead of us. So you can forgive yourself if you're feeling a sense of anxiety. Because as we start to awaken that deep awareness of our soul connection here on this planet, and that we are from spirit, having this human experience, that you may wake up in the mornings and feel nervous or anxious, and you'll wonder why, and it may not be anything to do with you, but your connection with the web that connects us all. Because as we start to all awaken, we will feel more and more. And this is a time of great healing of the past, letting go of those old traumas, the old stories that we've heard repeatedly in our head. It may have happened once to us when we were children, and most of our issues come from childhood. It may be time now for us to look at them and say, thank you for the lesson, thank you for the growth, and now I'm moving forward. And when I was with my friend in Kyneton, I asked her if she would choose a couple of cards out of my Spirit Messages deck. And I said, this message is for you, but it's also for us. And the card she pulled was vulnerability. And the message was about don't let fear hold you back, or allow a misguided sense that the feeling of vulnerability is somehow a negative condition. Each and every one of us needs to be aware that in our vulnerability, we start to remove the layers of disillusionment and the stories that we've fed ourselves from childhood. And it's not just childhood, it's also from our ancestry. Because our ancestors went through wars, traumas, they weren't seen or heard. And so we carry the energy of their abuse, their traumas in ourselves. And I'm hoping that one day, and I believe this will happen, that cycle of trauma that we carry will change. And as we move more into this era of the Age of Aquarius, where we will develop our greater gifts and share our gifts in community that we choose to be with, in community that is of the same frequency, then we will have let go of all the trauma from the past, from our ancestors, but also from our own old stories. And I'd already had a conversation with my friend the night before, and I do face and birth date readings based on Chinese medicine, which is thousands of years old. So I was reading her patterns, and I said to her, you've got a pattern in your nature that tells me that you're very psychic, very intuitive. Now, we all have this ability, but some have it showing up in their birth date. And I said to her, you know what? You could just close your eyes and just ask. Just ask your ancestors, ask Spirit to support you with any answers. She said, oh yes. People that are very naturally intuitive have to develop trust in their intuition. And the only way you can develop that trust is being vulnerable, but also asking the question. And the question, if you ask Spirit to support you or to guide you or give you a message or give you a sign, they will. I was just talking to Helen a bit earlier. Do you get nervous before you get up? She says, I've done this for 40 years. I get up and I trust. So it can take a while to develop trust. But the message here is that we all need to develop a sense of awareness that we come from Spirit, that we're just living this human experience to learn lessons, to evolve. And then if we just ask Spirit, Spirit will guide us. So there's the trust. And I'm still doing that. I'm trusting that I'll get up and something will come through me. And the third message or the third card that my friend intuitively felt she needed to pull out of the deck was breathe. How much do we focus on breathing? Before I got up, my heart was beating 100 miles per minute. Now that's not always normal, but sometimes I know that a profound message is coming through, and that's what will happen. My heart will really beat. Here I am being vulnerable. Here I am asking for Spirit to speak through me. And also trusting that if I breathe, then the heart will slow down. So it's all about tuning back into your heart, discovering where your soul is. Where is your soul? Has anybody sat down and really asked the question? And because your soul will let you know where it resides. We all have a soul. We all have a higher self. And Helen again reminded me, have you opened your crown chakra? Oh, no, I better do that. So how can we connect with the higher self? Open the chakras. And interestingly enough, I was only going to bring 2 bowls today for the meditation. The root chakra, which is all about our foundation, security, which is being rattled a bit at the moment. The heart chakra, which is about connecting with our heart, our soul. But then I felt compelled at the last minute to bring the third eye. I was going to bring the crown, but I brought the third eye, which is connecting visually with Spirit as well. So here is another quote I'd like to share with you. This is by Dorothy Mendoza Rowe, and she says, when forced with a decision, choose the path that feeds your soul. So when we start to develop trust and drop down from the head into the heart will tell you, because it'll be feeling. And how many of us have closed off our feelings? How many of us feel too vulnerable that don't want to go there, go back up to the head and want to be more conscious and make a logical decision? I'm pretty good at that. I'm a very logical thinker. So it's been quite a journey for me to start to drop down from that busy head into the body where the soul resides. So the more we start to develop trust, the more we become more vulnerable and allow vulnerability to be the key in the doorway to open up to becoming more of our true, authentic selves, the more we will then move onto that path like the highway that you can see much more clearly ahead rather than having to navigate the bumps. There's going to be a few bumps on the road. There's no 2 ways about it. Our souls didn't come here for an easy ride. I might have bought a car that's really comfortable to drive and has a bit of a note on it, but it's not about that. It's about seeing what you can do to overcome the obstacles that are coming and have arisen for all of us. We're all of different ages here in this audience, but there's a number of us that have, done the hard miles. Would that be right? That you've had to navigate some real big challenges in your life? There's no getting out of life alive. You get out with hopefully some wisdom. And it's important for, as I said, our older generations to start being the mentors, the wise oracles that pass on the guidance and support to our newer generations. During COVID, I was made very aware of our teenagers, for instance, our young people who are really suffering through this new era that we're evolving into. There's a lot of young spirits, I have heard, that may not make it. They may not make it because the energy or the frequency of this planet is too dense, and so they may choose to leave. And this is where our young teens they struggle through anxiety. There was, of course, during COVID, they were in isolation, couldn't be with their peers, with, their other friends. So I did create a teen program to support these young people. And that was also coming from my own experience with a brother of mine who suffered from anxiety and depression. And he also tried to leave this life earlier. And I feel that he, on the other side, is guiding me to support the young people, especially because I know people's patterns. I know what drives them. I know how they think. And now I know how I can support them to embrace their gifts, their talents, and to become who they were designed to be. So if you're aware of any young people out there that need help, just let them know about me. I can pass my information to you, but just be aware there's help out for our young people as much as there's help for all of us. We just have to recognise that we need to be responsible for the healing that we need to do on ourselves now in order for us to move forward, overcome the blocks, overcome the obstacles, and then trust that Spirit is back behind us, that they're backing us. And so I thought we might go into the meditation. Is that okay? Is there anyone here that has any resistance to singing bowls, or any experience where you've not liked the sound, or it's kind of rattled you? Or good. There's no hands going up, so that's a good sign. So I feel that maybe Spirit would like to work through me in terms of working with these bowls. And oh yes, would the healers like to go to the back? And if anybody would like to have a healing during this meditation, please make your way to the back. And you'll get a double healing with the bowls and the hands. So I invite you to gently close your eyes. And taking that beautiful, miraculous breath that I was mentioning earlier, drawing in a deep breath into your belly and breathing out through your mouth. And don't be scared to open your mouth and breathe out, because it's the sound of your own voice that is the most healing tool of them all. So again, taking a deep breath in and breathing out on a sigh. One more time, deep breath in and breathing out on a sigh. And let's ask Spirit now. Let's ask Spirit to connect with us and invite those beautiful warm hands of Spirit to gently touch our shoulders, maybe even touch our crown, and just allow Spirit to work with us, to support us, to guide us into a beautiful deep space. Bring your awareness now down to your base chakra, the base of your spine. Your buttocks, your legs, your feet. Just bring your awareness down to the bottom part of your body. And allow the energy of indecision, fear, doubt, mistrust, shame, and disbelief. Let that all go out now. Out through the back of your spine, down your legs, into your feet and into the earth below. messages that did not feed your soul, did not support you to become the beautiful divine self that you came here to be. Let go of the family abuse or stories or dramas or sadness. Let it all go down your legs, down into your feet, and let it go down into the earth where Mother Earth is holding space. Let go of the sadness. Back up to that beautiful space deep within your chest. This is where your soul resides. And feel your heart opening. Feel the door behind your heart opening up like a portal, and feel the expansive energy of the door in front of your heart opening wide. And allow the beautiful light of your heart to shine out and through and into this room. And as you do that, feel this room becoming bright with the most golden light. What does soul have to say to you right now? Is there a word? Is there a message? Is there a visual? Or is there a feeling that soul wants to communicate with you right now? And allow your beautiful third eye to open, and allow a visual to drop in. And it could just be a visual of a beautiful beach, a forest, or could even be a beautiful being of light that's making its presence and awareness known to you right now. Or it could be your soul giving you a visual of who you really are. Because there's no reason why you can't see Spirit. You've come to this church to receive a message, but you are Spirit. You are Soul. You are the divine light of the Source. Come here in human form to experience your glory. Feel yourself connected to the earth, trusting that you are here, part of the evolution of her, Gaia, and her ascension as part of the cosmos, and back into the fifth dimension, back into the seventh dimension, back into the 12th dimension, from whence we all came. And we can only do that by coming back to the heart, opening the heart, and living with love, compassion, generosity of spirit, and a sense of divine will. And and allow your vision for the future to now manifest, knowing that as part of Source and a part of the Divine Spark, you are more than worthy of all your dreams to come true. Breathe into your heart now. Breathe in and allow that beautiful golden glow to feed you and to feed all those that are now in this room, including your loved ones from the other side. Call them in now. Call in your loved ones and feel them and feel their presence. They've been waiting. They've just been waiting for you to ask. So when you're ready, breathe now into your belly. And breathe out again on a sigh. I didn't hear that sigh, so we'll do that once more. Breathing in and breathing out on a sigh. And again, deep breath in. And again, breathing out. Beautiful. And when you're ready and in your own time, gently open your eyes. Welcome back.
First of all, please join me in thanking Frances for that beautiful meditation and her amazing talk, please. Thank you.